Jake Ludington here at HP Discover, and I'm here with Doris Brown, and we've got what you are calling the art of possibilities here. That I'm really curious for you to tell me more about what I think is kind of a revolution in customization in the kind of more traditional magazine and book printing businesses.
Well, Jake, I'm with the Graphic Solutions Business Group, and right now is a very exciting time for brand owners and marketeers. Many of them are starting to realize that there's a lot of media out there and a lot of channels that they can use for marketing their initiatives. But if they can actually do a media converged opportunity and take information about their clients and make it personalized, especially in printed materials, what they can do is create a better engagement with their clients and build more loyalties and actually build evangelists within their own client base or their customer base. So I brought some samples for you to share and see if you're excited about them, see what's going on.
I definitely want to hear about this Adweek campaign that you've got here, because this looks really kind of unique. You've got I'll kind of hold this up and you can talk about it, but you've got an Adweek magazine here, and then you have what looks like two different styles of inserts that map very closely to the cover.
So let me explain to you what happened. This has actually occurred in May. This was a drop in May, and Adweek approached me. We were talking about some of the case studies, some of the exciting customer stories that we have, and they said, we got to get this information out to our client base and let them know what's going on. So would you do a supplement with us? Would you be able to get your stories out to our clients? And we said yes. So the first thing we did, we said to them, so tell us about your database, Adweek. What do you have? They have about 48,000 subscribers that receive a magazine, right now a traditional offset web printed magazine on a weekly basis. About 50% of the people are brand owners. They're C-suite level marketing people working within organizations. And then the other half of the people are creatives, people working for advertising agencies or their own little personal boutique files. But they're creating the actual artwork and the marketing campaigns for these brand owners. So after knowing that, we decided to use one of the biggest values of digital print is personalization. Each one of the pieces that come off press can be personalized to the individual who's receiving it. So the first thing we did was, for those people who are creatives, we created a desktop that looked like them. They have their Pantone fan deck guide here. They have their toys. They have their Starbucks coffee with their initials on them. So here is something that would resonate to them visually the first time they receive it. For the C-suite level marketeers, we had more of a formal desk that maybe represents them a little bit more. An Excel spreadsheet open on their desktop, and of course materials that would be of interest to them. Now, because these two people work together, you have the left brain, right brain coming together, working on clients' work. That's what the cover reflected for Adweek. So going a little bit further into this, take a look at the colors here. On the traditional offset work, what you have is, this is produced for color process, which has a very small color gamut. And when you're talking to brands, companies that really live by their colors, companies like Tiffany's, Coca-Cola, it's very important that these colors can be achieved in a printing process. Many times they have to go to a spot color, which is an additional cost. Well, if you take a look at the digital print work here that was done on an indigo press, the color gamut is so much more broader. CMYK, only about 50% of the Pantone colors can be achieved, but when you're talking about indigo, you can achieve close to 98% of Pantone colors, which are in fact the largest color brand system in the world. So first off, you see is the color difference. Second thing you'll notice here is that this piece has no personalization on it at all. It's mass marketed. There's nothing on the post-it notes, there's nothing over here, so anyone could have received this piece. But when you take a look at the personalized piece here, you have, please return to Doris Brown. Hey, this looks great, Doris. Can't wait to see it on press. Hey, DB, can't wait to see it final. Even subtle little things like on the flash drive, I love New Jersey. I happen to be from New Jersey. So when you think of getting mail on a daily basis, you go through the mail and the stuff goes right into the garbage pail because it's not talking to you. Well, here's a little bit of way people can be talked to. The other thing is, internally, all throughout the entire articles, you're being personally talked to. So we're changing the face of interactions with clients, being able to use data in a way of delivering material and content to them, not only content that's important, but in the context that that person would like to see. So this is an exciting thing. This dropped once again May 13th, and if you do get Adweek, you can take a look at this and see a little bit more. Some of the other things I brought for you is, let's stay with Adweek for a second. The Clio Awards. They occurred the same week as this magazine drop, and Clio, they introduced a brand new award for invention, and they wanted to produce a program for the winners. They had over 45 winners, and they wanted to do something quickly, but they didn't have a lot of time. So 32 hours from concept to print. This piece was put together for the Clio Awards. The award is a beautifully faceted silver apple, and they wanted to be able to capture that in the printed material, so they printed on silver substrate. And this is a 2-color job or a 3-color job. It's green, it's white, it's black on silver material.
Wait, so this is green and black and white printed on top of silver?
Yes, it is. And that's why you get that beautiful, rich, dynamic color. Now go on the inside. This is black, beautifully luxurious black paper, and this is white ink on black paper. Just stunning. Great crisp edges, and this is what digital print can do for you, especially the indigo color press that we have.
I would say this is stuff that's actually been typically fairly hard to do.
It actually has, and it's been very costly to do, and typically to be able to hit the price breaks, you have to do a large volume. But with digital, you can actually keep the volumes lower. And yes, it does at times cost a little bit more, but once again, you're not throwing away excess wastage, and you're really getting the materials that you want in a timing that you want.
Well, if you're getting this personalization, I think David Murphy, who I spoke to in another interview, said that for the personalization, you're hitting levels of like 15% response rates in direct mail campaigns that are using this kind of personalization.
I can only talk about personal scenarios. Prior to coming here at HP, I was the vice president of marketing at Pantone. And at Pantone, we would do mailings at least 4 times a year, and we would get 2% response rates on our direct mail pieces and our catalogs, which was considered unheard of. I mean, 2% response rate is really, really high. One of the first times that I did a digital campaign with Hewlett-Packard, I got a 37% response rate. 37% response. In fact, the owner of the company came running down the hallway, and I thought he was going to be mad at me, and he came into my office and he said, "I only have one question for you. When are you going to do it again?" So that's one of the exciting things we're talking about, is a lot of the projects that I've shared with you and David's been sharing with you, our clients, once they do one campaign, they want to do a next one immediately. And what we do is we work with these people, we educate them, we have them try to do small campaigns first and learn from their experiences, because one of the first things people learn in doing digital is they need to ask more questions of their clients. It's the old sales adage, stop and listen, ask a question, get more information, and make your content more relevant. You would love this. There's a blogger that I listen to quite often, and he made a comment the other day that if content is king, then context is God. And think about that, because many times you will get materials that just don't resonate to you because they're out of context to you. So this is what's exciting for me. It's media convergence. It's taking the best of physical and putting it together with the best of digital from a data perspective, and really make something that resonates with a client really well.
I'm really blown away by that, and I don't know if I'll be able to actually zoom in well enough to see this, but the level of detail that went into the personalization here. I mean, you pointed out like the I Love New Jersey, but even just like all of the places where like the Starbucks cup on the printing has your initials, and I mean it's all things that are around the idea that this is specifically for you and not for, even though it went out to 48,000 people, each one of them got sort of the sense that it was personalized for them.
What I'll do is I'll put this material up onto our HP site. It's hp.com/go/discover digital, and your readers will be able to not only see the executions, but they can actually read the stories, because each one of the stories that are in this piece actually talk about people who've used digital work. People from Smart Car to the Hearst organization. Hearst organization is doing a tremendous amount of work with digital right now in their advertisement area. There's stories here from the Lorax. A little bit more of a digression. In 2011, we ran a campaign with, it wasn't a campaign, Lorax, Dr. Seuss and Universal Studios was introducing the Lorax movie. And of course, the Lorax story is all about ecological stewardship and environmental friendliness of products. So that's at the heart and core of HP. So we reached out to them and said, if we were able to build a syllabus for children in the United States for schools and allowed them to go online using the assets of the Lorax, of Dr. Seuss, and write stories about environmental state. After watching a movie and reading some materials on it, they could produce their own books about what they think the importance of environmental stewardship is, and produce their own books. Move the assets around, type in the work that they want, the book would be mailed to them, and that's what we did in 2011. And it just recently won a very major award because it's changing the face of publication for children in the future. It's creating more of an engagement with students and children so that they're reading more, they're understanding more, and they're taking more ownership in the content that they're learning. So that's a really cool, another cool application.
No, that is cool. And having looked at the colors in here, I have do kids who have children's books, and the colors here are a lot richer than a lot of the books that we have in our house.
Once again, this is still available, and on that website that I mentioned earlier, people can go and link and actually produce their own books. They can download as a PDF, or they can request a printed job, and within a few weeks, the piece is actually mailed to you. So it's good. Let me share with you one last thing, if I can. This kind of talks a little bit about environmental stewardship, but also talks about the trend of data and usage. So Colorite is a retailer in Belgium. They have over 215 stores. They're the Walmart of Belgium, if you want to call it that. So they're big box. And they were producing a 32-page coupon catalog on every twice a month to 1.6 million customers. They have 3 million customers in their loyalty base, but they were sending out 1.6 million 32-page coupons, on a regular basis.
And presumably 1.6 million people were getting a whole bunch of coupons they didn't need?
Correct. Just like here in the United States, what happens is you get those, and what's the first thing you do? You take it and you throw it in the garbage. So they came to us and they said, listen, we've been hearing a little bit about being more personalized and selective with the materials. We'd like to talk to you about this. And what we did was we came up with a program that we use the data relevant to what their purchases are. So if we know that a client is buying Tabasco sauce, okay, so we know that we put that product into a likely category. So if we have coupons that are about spices, we're going to put this into the brochure. If we have items that we know they've never purchased, maybe they've never purchased, some type of tomato paste or something like that, then in 24 months, then we wouldn't put a coupon in there. So in the first run, they tried 50,000 shipped out, or mailings, and they went from 32 pages to 4 pages. But the coupons that were inside it were personalized based on the customer's usage. Well, the response was amazing. First thing is that the average household that received this used 5 times more coupons than the ones who didn't. The second thing that happened is the shopping cart value of those people who received those coupons almost doubled. The third thing that happened was that there was close to 25,000 requests for new loyalty memberships just by word of mouth, because the household members were telling other people that I'm getting something that's actually having value to me. It's not something that I'm not going to use because it's all stuff that's not relevant to what I'm purchasing. So this is a trend that I hope in my heart actually takes on very heavily here in the United States. Because just think about it. If this was 32 pages by 1.6 million people, and now it's only 4 pages. Think of the amount of paper we're saving. Think of the amount of mailage we're saving and postage we're saving from a money perspective. And it's just overall better business sense. It's giving customers what they really want to hear and giving them value even in your marketing. And it's just not mass marketing anymore. It's really personalized.
Well, we've given up a lot of personal shopping data around the idea of a loyalty card, and so why not actually use it instead of, because most of the time I don't really know what I'm getting out of using that card.
I was actually in the States. I won't mention the company, but personal story is I have two stores I go to for groceries, and I noticed that I've been using my loyalty cards for over 30 years. I mean, one of the stores have had loyalty cards for 30 years, and I've gotten nothing. I've gotten this mass marketing material of materials that are not relevant to me. And I actually went to the store manager. I actually picked up the phone and called somebody to explain this to them, because if I understand this, and we're breeding the next generation of intelligent marketeers and intelligent consumers, and if we don't start giving them what they expect from us, it is going to do just one thing, and that's break brand. And once a company loses, there's been studies about this, once you lose a relationship with a brand, your chances of getting that relationship back at the level you were is very, very low. So it's important that the bigger brands recognize this. They continue to listen to the clients. How do you want to be talked to? Do you want physical material? Do you want digital material? Do you want texting or mobile material? And what kind of physical stories or contexts or materials are you looking to hear from us? So I think it's an exciting time. I think it's going to be an interesting challenge. What's so nice about it and what I'm so proud about is that HP has such a great, rich background in data and can really walk into a client and not only talk to them about this lovely type of execution, but also about the tactics and the backing that needs to make this really relevant for them.
This is really, I mean, as somebody who's done marketing for a good portion of my life, this is really cool stuff. So I appreciate this. Thank you, Doris.
I really appreciate the time, and I enjoyed talking to you about it.